Okay, so we can get started whenever you're ready.
Okay, let me get into my zone. I'm just kidding. I'm just looking at my questions. All right. Uh
Three, three, two, one.
Hi everybody, I'm Dee and today I'm interviewing one of my best friends, one of my best long distance friends from far, far away.
I feel like
We've known each other for a few years, so tell me who you are, what the heck you doing. So, yeah, get started.
Hey, I'm Mo from MoNillaCo. I am a 22-year-old artist who just living life, man.
just
I
just cruising through.
Yeah, dude. I love pink. I love Pluto. Pluto is definitely a planet. I love space, and I just like to draw like pretty girls like all the time, and no variation of that.
Yes.
and
Uh, yeah, go ahead.
yeah, and yeah, that's basically me. And yeah, this is the interview. So let's go.
Great. Mo has a YouTube channel, and I'm going to link that in the description. And we're going to be talking about that. A few questions that I have. Um, First off, how long have you been creating art?
Um, I like to say all my life, but that may not be true. But it's probably like for the majority of my life. I started really wanting to do art when I was in high school, and I was really into making like I was like I want to be a freaking author and a sing-songwriter and things like that. And I made this book, and it was about like this girl who like gets transformed by this like crow lady, and I was like I gotta figure out what these characters look like so I can describe them better. And I just kept doing that with the my deviant art that I had at the time, and it just like never stopped doing that for some reason. So
Just
that's got me into art, and that's been for about, let's see, I'm 22 now. I was a sophomore. I was about like 16.
oh
Long
wow,
time.
so a while, a few
That's,
years of cranking out them OCs.
yeah, just OCs all day, every day.
Right. All right.
Uh,
So let's get into the questions. First question is what pushed you to post your art on YouTube specifically, or who influenced you to be like, yes, I'm going to start recording it?
um, I started. I actually made a video before I ever made a speed paint video. It was when I was in high school again. I think it was either a junior or senior. I don't remember, but I was in psychology, and they made you do a project to uh, what was it? Like it was like either do a video and then an essay about like I forgot really what the video was about, but it had copyright material, so I had to take it
Oh
down.
no.
It had like K-pop in there. Like I can't have that. You're gonna clean that. But
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
But then someone like commented on that video, and they're like, "Wow, I really love your videos and things like that." And I was like, "Huh, maybe I should do more of this." And I kept procrastinating because I'm like, I don't know, I don't get any tech, I don't have anything like that. And so I was like, I'll just wait till I get enough tech. And then
Mm,
eventually, I think it was like 2016, 2017. Um, I looked at like Inktober. I was like, I want to do Inktober, and I tried doing it. And it was like setting up was the worst. I had like three cameras that I bought that were used, and none of it worked. I had like the worst. I had
oh
like
my
what was it
god.
like Windows? I had like Windows Movie Maker, and you cannot make a speed paint with that.
No, you really can't.
It's like it does
It's
not last anything longer than like I think 10 minutes maybe. I don't know,
right.
but
Yeah.
it was the
It's
worst.
impossible.
But I found a way to do it, and I just uploaded the 16th day of Inktober, and then like never again until like a few years ago. And then
Right.
I just kept doing it. And it was like a lot of fun. And then I changed my setup. Now I just use like my phone because it's so much easier to edit with your phone. Like they have so many apps for all the recording that you need. You almost don't need a camera, but I do.
Right.
So yeah, that's really what got me into doing YouTube, and it's a lot of fun. It's really frustrating though because for some reason, every time that I upload a video, I lose a subscriber for some reason, and I'm like, how does that happen? But then I get it all back. And I'm like, what happened? I don't know. But yeah.
It's definitely funky. And I think that there's a lot of people that don't realize how important liking or commenting on what they like about videos from the people that they like to subscribe to, because it really does influence and it really motivates artists, especially if they're just like, is it worth it to just record it? Because it is a few extra steps that we have to do to create art, and especially to share it with other people. So if you like an artist, definitely tell them what you like.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what motivated Mo, was somebody commenting saying that they really liked it, and that got her going. And now she has a, how many subscribers do you have?
I think it's like 92. It was 93 last night, but again, I lost a subscriber. But yeah.
More than me. So,
which is sad because her is so good.
Thank you. It's a tragedy. No. Okay, cool. So you started doing YouTube, and you've also been, for as long as I've known you, for a couple of years, you've been doing commissions for people. So what's the best platform for you to sell your artwork on, in your opinion? What if you had the most luck selling commission wise?
And like show your art, and people like ask like, do you do commissions or whatever? And you're like, yeah, dude. It's just you show them and they do that. But I think one of the most successful right now is definitely Coffee. It's a type of search where you could just like request something and you pay that much, and it's actually doing pretty good. I'm thinking about doing like Coffee Gold, because one artist in a Discord server was wondering, is it worth it, to put that and be able to make this like a service for gold. You can show your commission information, and so I want to see how well that works, because I'm pretty like, I got like a goal done using Coffee, and it was like pretty quick. I'd say like within a month, like I was able to complete the goal. It wasn't like a huge, it was like a really like big goal at that time, because I did not have a job, so this was all I really had, and yeah, it was pretty cool. So definitely Coffee. If you just want to post things and you want to have a Discord server for that app, Commission IEO, Mishio, yeah, Mishio, is a good place to go. You can just go and post what you want to do for commissions, and then you can cancel commissions, and you can do all that stuff, and that's a lot of fun. And the Discord server is like super helpful. The mods are the people who run it, and they know what they're doing, and you can ask them any question, and they always update. So Mishio, Coffee, and Discord, just keep going. Just keep posting your art places, and keep posting your tags, and people will eventually figure you out. And they're like, wow, dude, I want you to do art things with your paper for me, for money. So yeah.
Right. I've noticed a lot of artists are moving from Patreon to Coffee. I've noticed that a lot, just because of how easy Coffee is to use. it's definitely good for just giving donations as well, which is mainly what I use it for. I never really considered using it for commissions, but I probably should. And I just heard about commission.io recently because I asked Mastodon. I was like, hey, what's a good place for just doing commissions? Like, this is the commission place. And they told me that, and I had no idea it existed, but it looks really cool. So I might actually try that. And I'll link Mo's coffee in the description as well.
Yeah.
So
and
hook her up.
Like Commiscio, and because like Commiscio is really a good website. Like I try to use it, but I forget to do things. I don't know how things work, but it's a good website if you actually know what you're doing. You'll get into it.
Right on. So kind of on the topic of getting requests for commissions, I know that you do not say for work things sometimes.
Yeah.
So what are some of those rules set for your commissions, things that you just absolutely will not draw that you've been requested to do before?
Sometimes that during times where I need the money most, sometimes that those rules get flexible. But I don't do usually like fetishy arts as much, like weird fetishy arts that just like I'm not good at. I remember back in the day. I'm gonna expose myself, but I don't care. Back in the day on DeviantArt, when I was like out of high school, and I was like, if I figure out how to get some money, like I would do like inflation art for the for the money. Right. It was like, and I'm not good at it. It's like there's a bunch of circles and stuff. Like I'm not the artist to go to. You should go to people who are dedicated to doing it and are much better at doing it or worth the money. But I did that, and I did a lot of like crazy stuff. There's like one that's like I don't know if it was fetish art, but I'm pretty sure it was. It was like this person went to me on DeviantArt and asked like, could you draw like a pink, like some bird spanking another bird, and it was the weirdest thing. Like it doesn't look weird, like it looks like kind of like okay, but like now I think about it, I'm pretty sure that was a fetish thing. I don't know. And now I just don't really like doing fetishes, and I kind of don't like doing not safe for work, because like when people ask, you kind of don't want to do it. It's like I don't like you know better. Like you're like I know it would make this look better, but I guess I'll do what you say. And I kind of don't like doing it because like people get really entitled about how things look. Because I remember I had somebody commissioned me, and they were really particular. First of all, don't ever come to an artist and ask to draw characters from another artist that you personally hate. Like don't do that. That's so stupid. This person is very particular. Just like this artist never draws these characters, and so I'm just gonna ask people to draw it in this way. And I was like, okay, whatever. I need the money, like whatever.
Right.
And so I tried doing it, and like he was very particular about a lot of things, like expression, and like he. I was like, okay, well I can fix that, like I know how to do digital arts, and I can fix it. But I could have just like redid it and fixed it. Like it's not that big of a deal. But it's like, is it too late to just get the money back? I'm like, you know what? Yeah, no, it's not. I'll just wait till I get my paycheck. I'll just go get you your money back. Like,
jeez.
So, I'm like, you're so like, okay, all right. I guess I'm the fool.
And that's like one of the bad parts about commissions is just you lose kind of a bit of that freedom, especially if somebody's really particular, like this is what it's got to be, how it's got to look. But I also hate it when people are just like, oh yeah, artistic freedom. And it's just like, okay, I have absolutely no direction on what you want, and I hope that you like it, but if you hate it, don't blame me.
Oh
But
yeah.
so basically kind of on that topic of just annoying stuff of being an artist, what is your biggest pet peeve of being an artist?
I think my biggest pet peeve of being an artist is nothing is ever finished. There's nothing that like you can start a sketch, right, and you can hate it within like 5 minutes. It's like, dude, I just did that sketch for an hour and I'm gonna erase it. What the heck?
Right.
There's never any point of art that is complete, which is great, and it's also a curse because you're like, well, nothing has to be complete, and it's okay. And you know what? That's a milestone. And some things you're like, but it could be so much better. Like it could be absolutely. I think the biggest thing to me is perception. Um, Artists have some of the most interesting minds, I believe. They can think of something and you're like, it's so vivid and I could draw that. And then when they put it to paper, it doesn't look anything like that. And that's so sad. It's like a lot of cool things come into your mind and you're not able to like just put it on paper and like, oh yeah, there it is. Like,
Right.
I wish it was like that. I wish life was like that. You could just put it to paper and like, there you go.
Right.
That,
I hope that somebody in my lifetime like gets the tech and it's just like, oh yeah, here's an image of what you think of. You know what I mean? Exactly as you think
yeah.
of it. Because that would be amazing. But then everybody would be an artist pretty much. Just think of something really beautiful and it'd be like, oh yeah, well, here it is. And it's just like, oh wow.
Oh wow, I can do it.
Right. I think that being an artist with some sort of skill, the motivation to even try to put the image in your head down on paper is what makes artists so admirable.
Mm.
Okay. The next question. Do you feel digital art gets better representation than traditional artwork?
Um, yeah. Well, you know what? It's very confusing because when I look on Instagram, like
Mm.
digital art usually does pretty well, but then you also look at like sketches that are traditional, and those do like really well too. So it's like really odd. It's like either like it'll work really well, or like or traditional art works the best. But I think that digital art is easier to digest because it's all like at the end of the day it's all shapes, right? Whether you do
Right.
traditional or digital. But what traditional is like, oh okay, so all this like looks a certain way and it's gonna look this certain way. And there isn't um like little marks or like smudges or things like that that like keep like there's sometimes it happens, but like for the most part like you can like erase that in digital art and like nobody would notice. And so there's
Right.
like not like saying like there's like a lot of personality, but there's like I don't know. It's
Digital
like a
art
lot of,
is very pristine most of the time.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
kind of what I mean about this question is, especially through ads for art school or graphic designs and such, everybody's using some type of digital tablet in the ads. And it kind of discourages me because I'm just like, well, I just know how to do traditional mostly. And I feel that it kind of gives this perception of, well, if you want a job, if you want a career, if you want an education in art field, then you'll have to do digital. And I feel like that's not entirely true, but I feel that digital art pads and such have been such a huge push, and kind of like I catch myself watching reviews on YouTube for different types of tablets and such, even though I'm not a digital based artist.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did the same thing when I before. Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel that digital art gets better representation in that way of like this is serious art, you know what I mean? Like this is
Yeah.
career art.
I think it's mostly because a lot of um a lot of companies like want things done like for the mass market, and they're like, well, it's easier to make like this design and just like vary it with different colors and stuff like that on like logos, t-shirts, and things like that. And so with mass marketing, definitely the digital art gets the like gets more recognition. But I think traditional art works the best with connecting with people. I think you can make a lot of interesting um, interesting ways of viewing things in a traditional medium. And I don't know, like, because it's funny because a lot of traditional digital artists want to emulate some traditional aspects of art, and a lot of
Right.
traditional artists want to do like they want things to be precise and like circles and stuff like that. Like, no one can draw a perfect circle. Like,
right.
that'd be great to just do that, or if you don't like it, you could just do Control Z on your piece of paper. But technology is not there yet.
Yeah, right. So do you feel that traditional art is trying to be digital and digital is trying to be traditional when they should just be more like, well, okay, but what's your style? You know what I mean? Like, I definitely feel that way too. Do you struggle with motivation, especially with commissions, and being told what to do with something is really difficult, but money is a great motivation, but do you still struggle with it?
Yeah, because I think I have a lot of projects I have to do. And like some of them I'm slowly doing it, and someone's like, when are you going to actually do it though? I have a lot of, I don't think it's mostly motivation. I think it's mostly like energy, because I don't think I can be motivated to draw something pretty easily. It's just that to actually do it and just get it done, it's like, I don't know. I think it's, when I was younger, I think now that this happened, whenever I got commissions, I always try to delay them because I wanted the person to like, I guess, kind of remember me, and that's kind of a very toxic thing to do. Don't do that.
Right.
Really maddening. Just don't do that. It's not gonna help you. Because I guess I didn't want to be forgotten. Because I was able to do things fairly quickly. I can finish a commission like in a day when I was like 17, 18. But now I'm like, I just think too much. I'm like, I don't know, man. I think I gotta redo the sketch that I did like for an hour or 2 hours. I gotta redo this whole thing. And it's the worst. And yeah, sometimes motivation is like really hard, but I think it's mostly because I think about a lot of things. As an artist, I don't think you ever really stop thinking. I think even when you sleep, you still think about like, what am I gonna do about this? And like a lot of inspirations, a lot of things, and with social media, that just the skyrockets. You could see everyone's already getting motivated or demotivated because they're just doing art and they're making a lot of things, and just like I gotta step up, and it can be very hard sometimes. But yeah, it's really hard to be an artist and to be in the social media era, because you see so many things that are inspiring and motivating and demotivating, and you're just kind of stuck. But you can get through it, definitely.
Shoot, I've lost my train of thought. Back on the kind of like the motivation versus the energy type of thing. I definitely feel that, especially with you, since I've known you such a long time and I've seen your artwork for several years, I can tell that, you know, your quality of your work is improving, and like the I think we worry about now, like, is this worth your money? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's something that I definitely struggle with, is just mostly I just keep an account the canvas size when I'm painting, but it's like, is this worth it? Because I know that money's really hard to come by.
Oh yeah. Well,
But with energy, I definitely feel that being an artist is a full-time job, and I don't care who says otherwise, especially if you're doing this career-wise or commissions for a living or something. You are constantly thinking about art or projects or something to do. Whenever you have a job that you go to and you like, say, whenever I was a cashier at Walmart or whatever, you go there for a certain amount of hours and you just leave that work there. You go home and you leave it. But with being an artist, it's constantly on the brain of like, to do this, to do that. What can I do for this? And it's constantly on the brain. You're working all around the clock, and you're only going to get money for the amount of time that you put onto the paper, not the whole time. But it is exhausting. It is a lot of energy. And there's a lot of things happening on YouTube and such of tracing. So what are your opinions on, since more artists are being caught, quotation marks, being called out, such as like Holly Brown and Ross Draws, about tracing in their artwork? What are your opinions on that?
When I was little, I think this is gonna be old lady Mo saying, back in my day. But no. When I was like really young, I was like, oh man, art is so dope. I want to keep drawing everything. There was things called I think you remember, like those like anime, like people just like draw like over anime characters, and like it's like poses and like nude or whatever.
Right.
And like everybody would use this to like make OCs. Like they just draw on top of it because they had like digital tabs, whatever. But I didn't have that. And what I would do is I would look at it and I would try to emulate it freehand. And I got pretty good at it. So much that I just kind of stopped using it and just use actual like references. But in a way, that's kind of tracing, but not really, because you're using your own. You're using your own mind. You're just emulating what you see. Like anyone could do that. Like if I look at a car right now, I could probably try to figure out the shape and everything.
Right.
But technically, that's kind of tracing. But I think that in those cases, especially with Holly Brown, like she was really trying to. What the heck? Stop yelling. Okay. But in those cases, they're just like, at least for Holly Brown, she's just trying to figure out how to draw this certain like character, right? Like you shouldn't have traced it, for sure. Like you don't have to trace it. But I think a lot of artists, because I remember I tried to do that before when I was trying to make this manga that I wanted to do in One Piece style, and despite what everybody believes, One Piece is not easy. The One Piece style is not easy.
Right.
Like especially for the women, like it's like, okay, how do I make it look like that and not look weird? You know, eventually I just. But at that time I tried to like, turn down the opacity try to trace the eye to figure out how the eye works, and then I try to do it freehand. Like it helps to practice, but you shouldn't do that for a long amount of time because that hinders you from doing things freely and making mistakes and then figuring out why it looks like that. Especially, and even if you like are using like references, which is not tracing, just be sure to give people credit. I think at the end of the day, nobody really cares if you like trace over like an apple. Just credit the photographer, okay?
Right.
The photographer not gonna mind, like whatever. I'm sure a bunch of like artists do that. Just make sure to credit. I remember looking into a video about like some controversy of people tracing. That the art department there, they would tell artists to use like some copyrighted material, but you're not allowed to like put that on t-shirts or anything. And all of those lessons would be learned in that classroom. And then once the semester was done, they would delete everything. Like no one would have a trace of what their artwork was. So I think that's a good practice that people should try to do. Like if you're gonna practice like anatomy and things like that, yeah, it would help to use a reference and maybe tracing over how the muscles work like that. But don't put it on social media and act like that's what you did. You did it from your mind or anything like that. You should just give credit to when credit is due.
Right.
I think a lot of artists do that, and you can't really crack on them for it. But you can't crack on them if they don't credit people, because that's important. They can go to jail for that, and we want that.
Right. I feel that kind of this tracing thing comes from like this obsession with not being able to sketch, like you've said before, with the whole I want nothing's ever finished, right? Like it's really hard to just be like, the sketch is bad, but I'm just going to leave it, you know what I mean, and start again or something like that. Like it's really hard. You want to correct it, you want it to be perfect. So whenever, even in Holly Brown's case, she was doing it was a sketch or whatever, and it was one of the characters was traced. Just allow yourself to be bad at art, you know what I mean? Just I feel like there is this obsession with like my artwork has to be perfect, especially if you're sharing it with other people. Like my artwork has to look good. But I think that it is very important, especially for newer artists, younger artists, to see someone that they really admire or whatever, to be like, this is my process, and it's not pretty, you know. Sometimes it's flat out ugly. You like draw something and you're just like, what the hell is that, you know? Like that is not anything close to what I wanted it to be. But definitely I feel that tracing is just good for practice. It should stay as a practice, not professional. There's nothing wrong with tracing for practice. And then try to freehand what you can and let your sketches be sketches, not completed work. You don't have to make completed work ready to sell art all the time. That's ridiculous.
Absolutely.
Okay, kind of moving on. What other creative hobbies besides drawing do you have?
I like to write songs about space.
Oh, nice.
I've been writing a lot of songs about space lately, and I'm thinking like, oh, this is my motif, but I'm thinking like, space is kind of my thing. It's always been my thing when I think about it. I've always wrote songs when I was little. I think for as long as I remember, I was like, even when I was like really little, I was like, I'm gonna be a singer, songwriter, veterinarian.
Everything.
I wanted to be everything. I wanted to be everything. And
you want to be a real life Barbie, just having all the jobs.
Absolutely. You know it. Barbie was my role model secretly. Even though I like brats, I don't know why. I think it's fashion. I was definitely fashion.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very much into like making songs, and I want to make songs and like I don't know, make an album one day. I don't know if it'll happen, but because I think my singing is trash. But I think that songs are like really therapeutic, and I've always loved hearing music, even if it's bad music. Like music is so inspiring, and it is a great creative output. And we should protect our artists, like, and give them better names. Like they're singer songwriters, guys. We can't call them artists too, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's so confusing. But I like to do art. I mean, obviously, I like to make
Right.
I like to make songs. I like to write stories. Let's see what's creative that I like to do. I like to cook. I've been cooking a lot lately, and I love making like Asian food. It's so much
Mm-hmm.
fun. I can make like chicken and broccoli and beef and broccoli like no other. Like it's so easy to me now. I remember just always wanting to do it, and now. So
Right.
yeah,
No, that's really great. Do you have any do you post any of your writings online?
I used to.
You used
No,
to?
yeah,
Okay.
I used to. I made fanfics. Like I remember back in the day. Remember when remember Quizzazz?
No? I can't say I do.
No. It was like where you can make like quizzes and stuff like that, and like you can make fan fiction. Basically, like if someone made was doing these certain questions, they would get this fan fiction of this celebrity. I did mostly like the Jonas Brother.
Oh my lord.
And it was the best. But then I got banned because I was just a thought, so that's what happened.
You're banned for thought crimes. But
I mean, basically, I was like, I'm just gonna thought around. It's just so dumb. But
oh
yeah,
my lord.
I used to have like a lot of writing, but not so much anymore. Now I just kind of keep it to myself because I'm like, I don't want anyone to really see how bad I just write.
Okay,
But I
but
do. Okay.
do you feel that having other creative hobbies besides like your trade or whatever is really important?
Absolutely. I think a lot of artists um, think about doing a lot of different things besides art.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember when we had a conversation about like like these music videos, like people who do art and make the music videos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so those kinds of outlets are like really lucrative. Like you can do a lot of things if you know how to animate and draw and make music. Like you can be your own gorillas and Mikus. You can do that. Like that's so lucrative. And I think that's really important that you don't have to just like draw or sing or knit. Like you don't have to just do all that. You can do all those things. Like you don't have to make them like all like professional or whatever, but you can do all those things because those are all important. I like if you know how to like paint and things like that, you can like dabble into like doing like makeup art and sculpting and things like that. And those are like some new things like you can just do for yourself, and that's really therapeutic. If you're not even thinking about marketing that, you should be able to have any creative output. Um, Whether you're doing it for likes, because we're all doing it for likes. Let's not kid ourselves.
I
Or
feel that it helps with not feeling burnout, doing something different.
mm, like I
Um,
remember. Oh, sorry.
go ahead, go ahead.
Okay. Because it's kind of like a hush hush project, but I'm trying to make this like gift box for like a YouTuber that I really like. And I've been doing these like lucky stars, and that's like such a fun thing to do, even if you're like really bad at it like me. And it's so much fun to try to make these stars and things like that. And like it's so much fun. It helps with like perspectives. Like, yo, I can chill. I don't have to like work right now. I could just make these stars, misshape or not. Like, I could just do that. Huh? Yeah, you should try it. It's a lot of fun. So like, what you do is like you look for like lucky star strips, and they'll give you like this like whole band of strips, and you could just like you roll up in a certain way. You keep doing that, and you like just pinch it in, and it's a star. It's lit. It's so fun.
I'll have to look into that. That sounds really different.
It's like origami, but like stars. Like manipulate them. Space.
Spice. Okay, so you said that you've been writing for some music and stuff like that. But what do you listen to or watch while working usually on a creative piece?
Like just writing or just like any creative thing?
Any creative thing. What kind of music do you listen to, or podcast or whatever?
I like to it really varies, but most of the times I don't even listen to music anymore as much. But what I do is usually stuff that I like find along the way, like Queen Herbie. Her music is actually really good. I would recommend like just listen to that once in a while. But usually I listen to like lo-fi, hip hop, like streams and things like that, because it kind of just brings you down and makes you like do what you're doing in a like chill type of way. And I really love those kind of music. Lo-fi is so good. Like I would never imagine in my life that I'd be listening to like snippets of an actual song and then someone just like making beats over it and like doing a bunch of cool stuff with it. I never would think I would be into that. Like I was into like Beyonce and things like that. I was that was my life. I was like into mainstream music. So
Right.
now I listen to like lo-fi and things like that, and then I listen to certain podcasts like Sardonicast. I listen to Super Mega Cast, and that's a lot of fun. They're so goofy. And I love to listen to a lot of Let's Plays. For no reason, because I don't really play like video games. I'm not really good at it. I'm like good at like Minecraft, sort of. And,
Right.
And I just like listen to them because like they're so passionate at what they do, and the people that they're interacting with while they're like playing games, like it's so much fun and you get motivated doing it. So yeah, that's what I listen to usually when I do anything creative, usually on YouTube, and just like listen to what I usually do. And sometimes I also listen to other artists do work because that also helps. Even though it's kind of hard because like you want to watch it, but then you're like, I gotta draw this eye, man.
Right.
I can't
Getting
watch
distracted.
it. Oh yeah. So yeah.
Definitely lo-fi music has come to my rescue in certain situations where I just need some kind of background noise that I don't have to look at to just work to, and not really, it's really low frequency basically.
Oh, yeah.
So you don't really like start jamming out to it. You're just kind of, bopping along doing something. So yeah, definitely lo-fi streams is the shit when it comes to doing art stuff.
Absolutely.
For
like
real.
So much fun. You can find so many different artists you could possibly put in your videos if you ask nicely.
Right.
And
yeah.
And there's so much fun to like listen to. It's like I can chill out, do work now. Because usually music just makes you think about the lyrics and you're like, oh, dang it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's much easier to like listen to somebody like saying something like multiple times over a beat and like not think about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you have any future projects in mind that you mind sharing?
Yeah, I have a bunch of draw again challenges I'm gonna do, and I'm thinking about really doing my manga that I've been kind of postponing for all these years. It's about like it's a a huge thing. Like I wrote everything for every chapter, but I didn't write like what was really gonna happen or drew what was really gonna happen. So I really want to get into that. Really making more videos and trying to do different outlets like doing music and things like that. But definitely make more videos and try to draw things again to see where I'm at, and that's really a lot of fun to do that. I think a lot of people should try draw again challenges for the like if you don't do any other challenge, try that just for your own pleasure, if nothing else. And yeah, that's basically what I want to try to do.
You took my freaking idea. I'm just kidding. But like, yeah, I wanted to do
I get that all the time. Look, no, I feel that way all the time. I swear, whenever I think of something cool that I want to do, like it's like, dude, this would be a great video, and then I just procrastinate. I don't do it, and then out of the blue, you see someone do it. I'm like, come on, man.
Right. It's just like, what?
Well, now I can't do it now. Like
I
remember
I was gonna do that eventually.
Maybe. Like I saw Apple Mint do the like one color art supply challenge, and it was pink. I was like, come on, man, that was my motif. Come on.
Uh-huh.
So I mean, I'm just gonna still do it, but
right. Just, why not? Just might as well just do it anyway.
Yeah, I mean that challenge is already like oversaturated anyways. Why not put mine?
Right. Okay, so do you have, this is the last question, do you have any general advice for newer artists?
Yes, I do.
Okay, next question. No, I'm just kidding.
My general thing is to keep making mistakes. Don't stop because things don't look right or things don't like make any sense right now. Like you see a lot of young artists struggle with like identity and really trying to find themselves in their art and with other people, and like it's a lot to deal with, especially if you're younger. Being in high school is like the worst for identity thing. You're just trying to figure out how to live, man, and nobody's telling you anything. And I would just say, just keep going, man. Don't stop. Don't take too many breaks, because you would be surprised how well and how valuable all those mistakes are when you keep going. You look back at it and you're like, wow, I was there and now I'm here. And you should just keep going. You just don't go away from motivation, because I think that's what a lot of artists is, even young and old people are like, I'm not motivated to do it. Well, just do it anyway. Like just draw, but okay.
Right.
And take a lot of practices. Do life drawing. Like there is Croquet Cafe. Do you know what that is?
No, I don't.
It's like a life drawing YouTube channel, and it is very helpful. If you want to learn how to do like life drawing and poses, and you're not like squeamish about like naked people, you should definitely do that. And like it's really fast, but you will get into figuring out how to do gestures and how the body works and how it angles much faster if you do it early. And yeah, so just keep going, make mistakes, check your resources. There's like a lot of resources, especially now than there were back then, that you can just like look at things and figure out how to do things. And save your money.
Save your money. Yeah.
Like when you're coming up, like you can buy so much stuff that you do not use anymore. Save your money. Just buy, some cheap stuff, and buy like a little bit of like expensive stuff. Like don't try to buy all of it at the same time. Like just slowly roll. You know,
Right.
like the 99-cent store and a Dollar Tree are like the materials are fine. Like just go there, and then when you get enough money, go to Walmart. And then when you get even more money, go to like I don't know, Michael's.
Right.
Yeah, so just make sure you figure out just save your money and save your receipts, because when you use art supplies, you can write that off. You know, even if you're not like doing taxes yet, like you can write that off. So yeah,
Right.
but yeah,
Okay. Awesome. So like keep making cringy shit and you'll see it like, oh, started from the bottom, now I'm here. And
yeah,
yeah, seeing that progress is really awesome.
absolutely.
Okay, so if you guys want to check out Mo's channel, you'd be my best friend forever, and you'll be her best friend forever. Plus, you'll see her questions to me and me answering them and rambling everywhere like an idiot. But
No, she's great. I love her. I love when she answers questions. She has such an elegant voice.
oh,
Just
thank
listen.
you, thank you. If
You're welcome.
Velvet had a voice, it'd be mine. I'm just kidding. But
Great. I'm like, yes, Velma, yes, yes.
so everything that Mo, her plugs, her Twitter, her Instagram, her YouTube will be in the description, as well as some of the things that she's referenced, brought up, like commission.io and the Pose website and such to help you guys. So I really appreciate Mo. Thank you for doing
You're
this
welcome.
interview with me. Yes.
Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you for the idea. I love this.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.